Hello and welcome back to lecture number 2, where we'll be practicing some chemical formula writing. Let's start with the basics. See, there's few things that you must know before we start doing it. First thing is the list of cation anion, right? See, you must know what cations are and what are their names, and you must know what anions are and their names. I discussed in the last session about cuprous, cupric. See, then we discussed about ide, ate, ite. These are names given to different anions. Peroxide, right? These are the things. Also, you can also include hydride. Not that commonly seen, but still an anion, right? Hydride is another one we must consider remembering. Let's begin with some formula writing. So for writing chemical formula, the rule is very simple. Put brackets for polyatomic ions. It's an important thing that you must have to put it for polyatomic ions. What exactly are polyatomic ions? For those who don't know, polyatomic ions are the ions with two or more atoms present. They are the ions with two or more atoms present. They are called as polyatomic ions. For example, it would be sulfate, it would be nitrate. So for them, always put brackets. Always. It's a crime if you don't put bracket. I'll show you why. Okay. And there's another thing that I should tell you. Hydroxide. I totally forgot about it in the last session. I'm adding it now. Hydroxide. See, hydroxide is another very, very important anion that you must remember. It also comes under the family of ide. Why? It can also be considered as a single atomic thing, right? So OH minus, ide, no, hydroxide. Okay, next. We must put brackets for polyatomic ions. That is the rule. And I told you already in the last class that it should be first cation and then anion. With all these things, we can start with writing chemical formula. So let's begin. So let me give an example. Suppose someone asks you to write the formula of magnesium phosphate. Okay, suppose you have been asked to write the formula of magnesium phosphate. How do we do it? So magnesium has a charge 2 plus, right? We know that. And phosphate has a charge of PO4. Yes, exactly, 3 minus. So is it a polyatomic ion? Yes. So what we'll do? Put a bracket. Yeah. And don't write the charges. I mean, there's no need of that. I mean, there's no need to write the charges. Just write the value 2, 3. And then we'll just cross multiply. That's cross multiply. And if you do that, you would get Mg3 P bracket. See, I told you it's a crime if you don't put brackets. Why? Because this is the reason. Mg3PO4 whole twice, right? Mg3PO4 whole twice. That's how we write the formula for magnesium phosphate. Next one. Another example. Suppose someone asks you to write the formula of barium hydroxide. Barium hydroxide. So how exactly we do it? So what's barium? You can go up and see the charge. See, barium was Ba2 plus. See, I must have listed it down somewhere here. Yeah, here it is. See, barium. And where is hydroxide? Here, OH minus. So just write them without the charges. I mean, don't write the sign of the charge. I mean, so barium is 2. Hydroxide, is it a polyatomic ion? Yes. So put a bracket always. Oh, and sorry, the charge is 1. The charge is 1. Cross multiply. What do we get? We get barium hydroxide. Putting a bracket is really important because what will happen, I have seen students writing like this and then they lose marks in exam. This is totally, it's a crime, by the way. It's a crime in chemistry writing BOS tries like this. So we must put brackets, and it's essential to put brackets because they are the one which will give you the real count of atoms. You'll understand it later when you do numericals. You'll understand, how much of big crime this could be. So I think we have given 2 examples. Now it's time for you to do some questions. So you might, have that sheet that I've given in the last class. handy, keep it handy, keep it ready, because we will be needing that to answer the questions. So I'm writing some compounds now. You need to write their formula for me. Sodium carbonate, calcium carbonate, magnesium hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide, and then aluminum nitrate. I'm just randomly making. I'm picking one cation from left, one anion from right. You can also do the same after this class is done. You can make 100 compounds and play with your friends. Like, you tell me what is sodium sulfide. You tell me what is calcium nitrate. Or you tell me what is potassium hydroxide. Stuff like that. That way you'll be always in touch with chemistry. That way it is much more fun. So I want all of you to pause the video for a minute or so, solve these 4 questions, and then join back. So please pause the video and attempt these 4 questions. Now we'll solve the question. I hope you have paused it and have got the answer. Okay, so let's begin with sodium carbonate. If you've still not done, you can pause the video once again and do it. Okay, so let's begin. Sodium has a charge of 1. We know. Carbonate, CO3. Can you put a, do we have to put a bracket? Of course we have to put a bracket. We have to put the bracket because it's a polyatomic ion. 2, then crisscross, cross multiply. So we'll get Na2, CO3, 1. If it is 1, right, you might remove it. Might just well remove it, but it's a healthy habit of putting bracket. Calcium carbonate. Calcium has a charge of 2. Carbonate is CO3 and a bracket and 2. Cross multiply. What do we get? Ca2, CO3 whole twice. 2 and 2 will get cancelled and the name will be, formula will be CaCO3. Then magnesium hydroxide. Mg has a charge of 2. Hydroxide has a charge of 1. Right? A bracket again, polyatomic, cross multiply. What do we get? We get MgOH twice. Magnesium hydroxide. The last one is aluminum nitrate. Aluminum is 3. Nitrate is NO3. We know that, right? NO3. And it will be 1. Then you can just do the cross multiplication and get aluminum AlNO3 whole thrice. Bracket is important, really important. Don't ever skip the bracket. Okay. So I hope you got the same answers. If you've got all of them correct, you can mark 4 on 4. Good job. And if you have not, I hope you know how to do it now. Moving on. We'll do few more questions. But this time we'll do the other way around. Meaning, I will write the name, you have to tell me the formula. Okay. So let's begin. Iron or iron sulfide. Now, see, one more thing I should tell you. If I say iron, I typically mean Fe2 plus. Okay, sometimes they also call it as iron 2. There's something that you must know. If I say, whenever I say copper, sometimes we'll see that. So they specifically mean you to write copper 2. And this Roman 2 implies the charge, which is Cu2 plus. Iron 2 plus is Fe. When they say iron, they mean the plus 2 charge 1. When they say copper, they mean plus 2 charge 1. Okay, this is called a stock notation. This Roman thing is called a stock notation. Okay, so this is stock notation. They're nothing but charge. The charge that you have to write on the top of the ions. So iron Fe2 plus, copper Cu2 plus. Now let's start. Iron sulfide. You have to do the other way around. Looking at the name, write the formula. This way you can have a both way understanding. Aluminium sulfate. Please do this one also. And then we'll do and then we will do calcium chloride, and the last one will be lead peroxide. Now again, another thing, when I say lead, I usually mean 2 plus, Pb2 plus. Okay, so with this, please solve them. Again, once again, please pause the video and attempt these 4 questions. So please pause the video, start doing the questions, please. Okay, we can now start solving the questions, shall we? So let's begin. Yeah, iron sulfide. What's iron? I just told you it's plus 2, right? So write Fe2, sulfide 2, cross multiply. What do we get? We get Fe2S2. Can I simplify it? Naturally, FeS. So that's the formula for iron sulfide. So did you get it correct? Yeah, good, nice. That's how we do it. Very good. Next one, aluminum sulfate. Aluminium sulfate. Aluminum is 3, sulfate is 2. Cross multiply. See, what do we get? Al3. No. Is it Al3? Of course no. It's Al2. Why? Because it's the cross multiplication that happens, right? So it will be Al2. Yeah, Al2 SO4 whole thrice. Al2 SO4 whole thrice. Yeah, SO4 whole thrice. That's the name. I hope you got it correct. Calcium chloride. Calcium is 2, chloride is 1. Cross multiply. What do we get? CaCl2. CaCl2. And then we have lead peroxide, which is nothing but Pb2 and O2 2 minus. So O2 is the bottom. No? Whatever is in the top, that comes bottom, right? We know that. So 2 bracket cross multiply. What do we get? Pb2 O2 whole twice. We can cancel them, simplify them to make it PbO2. So these are the 4 answers that you should have got. If you got this exact same answer, you can mark yourself 4 on 4. Good job if you've got all of them correct. So this session was all about how we write chemical formula. So for that, you need to remember these basic concepts. The first one being that what ions are, they're cations, and in cation write T in such a way that it looks like a plus. That's how I remember it. That's how you should also remember it, because I've seen people getting confused between cation and anion. That's how we understand and remember. So if the cation is positive, naturally anion becomes negative. So negatively charged anions, positively charged cations. These are the rules I told you about: iodide, 8, sulfite. These are the list of cation and anion gave you in the last class, in the last session, right? And then I have told you about these basic things about how when to put brackets. You know, having 2 or more ions will have to, you must put brackets. Then I give you some examples. Then I give you some questions also on how to perform it from name to formula. And now we did formula to name. So these are the things we discussed. So with this, I think you've got it. You've got some idea on how to, write chemical formula and all. So please practice few more questions by taking a cation, taking some cation from the left and some anion from the right. And you may also download this from the, I will attach one worksheet with this video. You can download and practice it. So I hope this was a wonderful session. And if you're liking this series, you can refer this to your friends. So it's an attempt to make this course totally free and available to everyone, so that all of you can be, can get benefit from this course. So if you're really enjoying this, do share and subscribe to this channel and share it to your friends. So I hope this helps. Thank you so much.